Nowadays almost all the citizens of Ukraine defend their motherland. Heroic gestures of the elderly people are the most moving. Despite their age and all diseases, they actively take part in the fight against the invaders. Welcome to the UniqUA channel. One local woman was quite creative in the fight against the occupants. When she found out that Russian invaders had been robbing the shops, stealing ducks and other things from her neighbors in the village, she decided to feed hungry Russian soldiers. She baked some homemade pastry and went to treat Russian invaders. The elderly woman added a secret ingredient, thanks to which 8 Russian soldiers went home, only in zinc coffins. Elderly men also keep up with heroic deeds as well as elderly women. When 63-year-old Vasil from the Kharkiv region saw a lot of military vehicles of the Russian army, shot cars and dead bodies of civilians, he decided to neutralize the enemy at any cost. For more than 2 months an ex-paratrooper with his dog was stealing enemies' weapons, from warheads for artillery shells to batteries for military vehicles. By the way, every one of them weighs around 50 kilograms, but it didn't stop the man. Next, he found the documents of the occupants and immobilized the Russian infantry fighting vehicles. He went hunting under gunfire every other day. He was hiding his treasures in different places to hand over to the armed forces of Ukraine. However, during one of his operations the man was blown up on a mine and lost his leg. Luckily, Ukrainian soldiers found him and brought him to the hospital. Mr. Andriy Hrushko from the Kherson region is also worth admiration. From the first days of war he wanted to join the Ukrainian army, but because of his age he was refused. When the enemy occupied his village, he understood it was time to do something.
At first I felt scared, but then I made a decision to help our soldiers somehow. For several days I was observing the occupants' Ural, and the moment I had a chance, I got inside and drove. I don't think of myself as a hero. I just wanted to do a good deed and screw over the Russians,
said the man. He stole the lorry from just under the nose of the enemy, and it turned out to be full of weapons and ammunition. Andriy drove a worthy trophy to hand over to the armed forces of Ukraine and received a sincere thank you from Ukrainian defendants. 78-year-old senior citizen Vasil from Bashtanka stood out with his brave deed. When fighting near his native town began, he made a decision to oppose the occupants with improvised means. He came to a roadblock, brought the bottles with Molotov cocktail liquid and started throwing them at enemy vehicles. The old gentleman aimed at the Grad rockets unit, which was on fire in a second. Nowadays there are many senior citizens who can't join the army, but they help the military in other ways. A resident of the Kiev region, Maria Mykitivna, supported the armed forces of Ukraine and handed 75% of her pension for military needs. This senior woman receives only $109 a month as her pension, and she gave away $80 out of it for the war against invaders. An incredibly generous benefactor turned out to be Mykola Hryhorovich Shevchik, a lovely elderly man from the Chernivtsi region. He handed over almost $11,000 to the Ukrainian defenders. It was his life savings. Without a doubt he decided to give it all away to defeat the enemy. The elderly from the Dnipro region also decided to help the armed forces of Ukraine. They created a singing band, Zoryanaka, and started singing in the streets of the city. They have several concerts per week. They collect money in a jar and hand it over to the armed forces of Ukraine for their needs. So far they have collected $320 per month and they don't want to stop until the victory. Someone starts fighting against the Russians or steals Russian military vehicles, others help the army financially from their little pensions. Thanks to this solidarity of Ukrainians, victory will be inevitable. Subscribe and share this video so that people all over the world find out what is really happening in Ukraine.